Hey, welcome to Vance Tried It. Today, we're going to be trying a hamburger roll up. So, here's what we're going to do. We have 1 pound of lean hamburger in this bowl right here. And to this, we're going to add an egg and an egg white. We're going to reserve the yolk. So we just want to drain the egg white off of there. And we're going to put this in about a tablespoon of milk, and we will use that later. So let me just clean my hands off here real quick. Alright, there we go. Now, to this, we're going to add some seasoning. Now, this is based off of a video I watched, and I'm going to put that down in the description. But what they used to season their meat with was some salt and pepper and some paprika. But what I'm going to be using is some steak seasoning, and this is from Buc-ee's. And so we're just going to put, I don't know, about a tablespoon or so of that in there. And so we're just going to put that in there like that, and we'll just take a spoon and we will mix this all up together really well. And the reason we want to use really lean meat in here, a lot of times for when I'm using ground beef, I'll use like a 80-20 or something along that line. But because we're baking with this and we're putting it in, we're going to be putting it in a tortilla. And so we don't want to have a lot of grease sitting in the bottom of our pan. We're not trying to deep fry it in its own grease. We're just trying to get it nice and cooked up, and we just want to get this where the egg and the spices are all integrated really well in here with the beef, just like that. That's going to be good enough. We're just going to set that off to the side, and we're going to take, I was kind of debating on what size tortillas to use, but I got the large. I think this is going to work out really well. We definitely don't want the small ones. I was contemplating the large or the medium, but I think large is what's going to work best here. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take some butter, and this is softened butter. We leave our butter out at room temperature, which is fine to do. And we're just going to brush it on here, get it spread out really well here, just like that. And then we're going to take some shredded mozzarella cheese. Now, you know, I often tell you don't use pre-shredded cheese, but that really, the main thing you don't want to use pre-shredded cheese for is for stuff where you're going to want the cheese to incorporate into the whatever you're fixing. But in this case, we're not really worried about it incorporating in. And so a layer of cheese, it doesn't have to be perfectly melted like that. So for something like this, a bagged cheese is going to work just fine. So on top of that, we're going to put one more tortilla. We'll just grab some more butter here. Get this one buttered up really nice. Butter up my thumb too, I guess. So we got this all going, just like that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some gloves, which I have right over here. And I'm going to, just by hand, grab about a quarter of this beef mixture and put it right here on top of this tortilla and just kind of spread it out in there. It doesn't have to be perfect. Don't worry if you get a little bit of gaps here and there, that's fine. I'm just going to spread it out a little bit, just like that. Okay. And then, what we're going to do, now, the lady in the video used now some green onions or some scallions, but I'm going to kick it up a little bit because instead of that, I'm going to put on here some jalapenos. I'm going to put a pretty good amount on here because I'm the only one that's going to be eating this, and I like me some jalapenos. So you put all that together, and then you just start from the end here. You just roll this up. You want it fairly tight, I would say. So we're going to go ahead, roll that up just like that, and grab our knife, and now we're going to just cut it right in half, just like that. And we're going to put it over here. Now, I have sprayed this pan with avocado oil. Now, I often tell you people, and I'm pretty serious about it in my house, I do not ever recommend any kind of seed oil. And so, a lot of the spray you're going to get is going to be a seed oil base. That's just not good for you. You can get, I used an avocado oil spray, or you can use butter. Butter is perfectly legitimate to use on this. And so you do want to put some sort of oil in your pan. Just please don't use seed oil. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up the rest of these, and we're going to do 4 of these and put them in, layer them in here. And then once we have them all put together and in here, I'll get back to you. Okay, so we have them all rolled up and cut up and put in the pan. And now what we're going to do is we're just going to take the same brush with the butter on it, and we're just going to mix up this. Really what we're making is an egg wash. Okay, so we're just going to mix that up really well, and we're going to put this right on top of our rolls here. And we're going to be really generous with it too. Okay? Really generous with it. And what this is going to do is this is going to, let's say, encourage our roll-ups to really get brown on top. So we want to make sure we get this on here really well. Get a good covering. Get it in the cracks. Make sure there's no unexposed little ends and pieces here. And look, in the end, if we don't use it all, that's fine. Because we would rather have made a little bit more than we're going to use than get through here and discover that we should have made more because we needed more. So that right there is going to make just a really nice brown set of tortillas. We got some splashing down here on the edges. Because you know what I always say, if you're not making a mess, you're not cooking. So we're just going to clean our pan up a little bit. That way we don't drip anything directly into our oven. So we'll just use this napkin, clean up a little bit. Now our oven is heated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and we're going to put it right in here. We're going to let that cook up for 30 minutes, and then we're going to come back because we're not going to be done yet. We're going to come back and put the finishing touches on it. So we'll see you in about half an hour. Okay, so we've been in the oven now for about 30 minutes, and we're going to pull this out and finish it up. Would you look how beautifully that browned up? That is exactly what we were wanting. And now we're just going to take some more of this mozzarella cheese. And we're just going to put this over the top here. You can be as generous as you want. Over here on these two over here. If some falls off, that's all right. We're not going to worry about that. And we're going to put this back in the oven for about 5 minutes. Now, in the original video, she put more egg wash on these roll-ups before she put the cheese on there. But, look, we didn't do that because, as we said earlier, the purpose of the egg wash is to let that crisp up and brown up real nice. It's already done that. It's not going to help it any with that cheese on there to put that egg wash on there. So we're not going to do that. And we're just going to put it back in the oven just like it is. And we'll get back to you in about 5 minutes. Okay, so we put it back in there for about 5 minutes. Let that cheese melt really nice. And let's open it back up and get it out. And here we go. Just like that. And now we're going to get one of these bad boys out of here and give it a taste. Let's just grab this one. I think I stole some of the cheese from one of the other ones, but that's all right. So, here we go. You can take a look at that. And you can see that nice ring of meat and cheese, and you can see those jalapenos in there. So let's just give it a taste. Well, that is really good. I mean, I'm a big fan of jalapeno, and that jalapeno flavor definitely shines through there. And that meat is so juicy in there. And the nice thing is, the juice of the meat has kind of soaked into the interior of the tortillas. And you have that nice, crisp outside edge. And then that cheese really just sets it all off and puts it all kind of at another level. Let me try another bite. Yeah. I mean, this is a really simple recipe, easy to fix, and just tastes super good. You know, a lot of people in the comment section of the original video were saying that maybe they would use some taco seasoning in the meat. That would be good. You could do that, and then especially with the jalapenos, put a little salsa on top. You could even put some lettuce and tomato on top of this if you did something like that. There are a lot of ways that you could finish this off, just add even more to it. But even just like it is, this is fantastic. Hey, I tried it. You should too.